That's right, everybody. There can only be one champion, and we are going to find out who that champion is here in just a few weeks. But right now, the guys are out there on the track getting their practice laps in for the Heating Up Homestead 150 here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. I am Sean Griffith with Speed Racing Network. We are here to present MidSouth Madness, the playoffs, week number 3. We got 100 laps to do it tonight. Top 7 are going to get paid. Got 2 fast repairs out there, so if there's any troubles out there, then of course you can get your fast repairs and get back out there on the track. So everybody's out there having a good time. And man, we are just loving this track. I love this track personally. It's one of those classic ovals with the nice long sweeping turns with varied banking, so that way you can go high, you can go low, you can go pretty much anywhere on this track. So should make for some really, really good racing tonight. Really quick, let's talk about next season. So a lot of people have been asking us about this, so here are the details on that, and there'll always be more details coming. So if you have any questions, contact either myself, Sean Griffith, or Jason Tripp. And so we've got 3 different leagues going on. So there's going to be a truck series that's going to be on Wednesday nights, an Xfinity series on Thursday nights, and a Cup series that's going to be on Sunday nights. And so the truck series is $5 a week. Xfinity is $10 a week. The Cup series is $15 a week. And if you look at those prizes down there, so $300 for first place for the trucks, $500 first place for the Xfinity, and $1,000 to the champion of the Cup series. So all of those are fixed setups. All 3 series are running the same 20-week schedule, and so what that allows us to do is if somebody wins in the truck series, we're going to give them a free entry into the Xfinity series that week, so that way they can try against some different competition. Same thing with the Xfinity series. If they win in the Xfinity series, we're going to give them a free entry into the Cup series so they can try their luck up there with those other guys. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have weekly payouts. We're going to have all sorts of crazy stuff going on. So just like this season where we have weekly payouts, if you're in the top 7 in this race, then we are going to get those payouts to you based on how many entries there are. But the prize funds in those, the playoff prize funds, are all 100% guaranteed, meaning that if 20 people show up all season long, we're still going to pay out $1,000 first place in that Cup series. So one of those really fun things that not a lot of leagues do. A lot of leagues base their prize fund on entries. We're not doing that. So we're basing the prize fund off of here's the prize fund, here's what it is. So that way you don't have to worry if people don't show up. You still are in the running for that big prize. All right, well, this week, Thomas Rutherford sat down with Aaron Gerwitz from Rev Racing, so one of the Rev Racing guys that is still in the playoffs. So they do have 2 guys in the playoffs. And so he sat down with Aaron, and let's take a look and see what he's got going on.
Hey, folks. Welcome to another edition of TR's Corner. And tonight we've got a special treat from far up in the Northeast, where I'm sure it's getting cold, Mr. Aaron Gerwitz. How you doing tonight, Aaron?
Oh, we're doing good. It is actually getting cold up here.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was. It's actually getting cold down here a little bit in Tennessee too. So appreciate you jumping on tonight, and we'll get right into it because we're in the playoffs. So tonight we're going to Homestead. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But as far as you, Mr. Gerwitz, how did you get into iRacing? Tell us your backstory.
My backstory getting into it, I played NASCAR Heat on my Xbox for years, and I've been thinking about getting iRacing. And in February, I said, screw it, we're going to go buy a computer and the monitor and everything. And I just started about 9 months ago.
Just jumped right into it, right? So you're with Rev'd Racing, Adam Pettet, and that whole crew there. How'd you get on with those guys?
About a couple months back, I was looking on Facebook on the iRacing pages, and Adam had a button box for sale. I was looking for one. So I messaged him, and he sent me back, and I sent him money for it. And then he's like, hey, you want to join this league? I'm like, sure, why not?
So you guys have been running together ever since. You've had a pretty strong team this season. As a matter of fact, strong enough to get 2 of you into the playoffs. You're currently sitting 9th. Adam's up there running 3rd right now. How are you feeling comfort level wise going into race 3?
My comfortability with Adam and all the work he's put in with me and helped me get to being able to be a competitive top 5 car. I feel like pretty confident about tonight, and then Kansas I absolutely love. So if I can get past tonight, I'm looking forward to Kansas.
Yeah, so Homestead's tonight. What challenges do you think, not only yourself, but the other drivers, what are we going to see out of that race tonight?
I think you're going to see a lot of 2 and 3 wide, and the corners will be in the track as wide as it is. You can go all the way from down the bottom to the top. But I think towards the end, maybe the high line might be the place to be, or it could be the middle.
You think it's going to be with tire wear that the cars are going to start moving up?
Yes. As the tires wear out, I think the cars are going to move up towards the wall, and then hopefully I can stay right in that middle groove and have it rolling.
You guys have put some practice in this week, I'm sure. I mean, Rev Racing is famous for their practice sessions. What have you guys noticed in the car just over the long runs?
Over the long runs, I noticed it does get looser on exit as the tires get mushy. On the first 2 laps, they're loose, and then throughout the middle portion, it's stable. And then through about lap 29 to 30, then you're really swinging that right rear around.
Yeah, especially coming off of 4, I'm sure, as that wall gets closer.
Yeah, I think that's where, if any cautions are going to be, it's going to be right out of 4.
Well, hopefully that won't be you or any of your teammates this evening. But I got one last question for you, actually 2. I'll start with this one, and it's not a loaded question, but who's your pick for the championship this season halfway through the playoffs?
I think it's going to come down to either Adam or Dean Brummett.
Yeah, they've both been very, very strong, not only in the season, but especially in the playoffs. And Adam's come on real strong in the playoffs, so looking for him to have a strong finish. And speaking of Adam, that does lead to my second question. Is that button box still working?
Yes, it is. It works perfectly.
Good. Little plug for Adam there. Aaron Gerwitz, thanks for being on, and look forward to racing with you tonight at Homestead.
Thanks for having me, Thomas.
Take care.
All right, and that was Aaron Gerwitz from Rev Racing. And so we are joined now by Brandon Superman Brand Browning. How's it going tonight, Brandon?
Oh, man, it's going great. Excited to see this Homestead action. Be honest with you, though, this is probably top 3 worst track for me, driving-wise. I'm not very good here, so I'm going to tell you, I'm not sure how many drivers we have on the track right now, but even the worst one is probably better than I am here today.
Well, I mean, I was telling everybody a little bit earlier that I kind of like this track because of its long sweeping corners. There's variable banking. So, I mean, you can ride just about anywhere on there, but finding out where it's the fastest, that's the key.
Yeah, and honestly, the biggest thing that we're going to see tonight is, just watching practice here, everyone's trying to use that midline. But as the race goes on, the tires wear a little bit. These guys are going to be up against the wall. Much like anyone who watched our Friday night broadcast for the IBCS, those guys were up against the wall later in the run. They were overstepping the boundaries. They were putting the thing in the wall. And I expect to see a lot of that tonight just as they try to ride above that seam and get a big run down the stretches.
Well, let's take a look right now at the team standings in the Risk It for the Brisket Team Championship, sponsored by Steak Dance. So go to www.steakdance.com if you want your meals to taste a lot better. So your steak, your chicken, everything else. And Steak Dance has the seasoning for you. And so they are sponsoring our Risk It for the Brisket Team Championship. And so up front, we got Stryker Motorsports with 1,174 points. They've got 5 wins on the season, but don't count out Rev Racing. They've been sneaking up on them for the past couple weeks.
Yeah, and the biggest thing about that is Aaron Gerwitz, he's still in the playoffs. He's still alive. He's been running pretty solid, but the man with the hot hand as of late, Adam Pettet, I think he's really kind of got that team on his back. I know, the other guys, Brandon Key and Sean Dice, they've been running solid. They seem like they're going to be pretty fast here tonight, but I mean, Adam Pettet's been the man with the plan to try to get those guys atop the standings.
Steak Dance Racing also has an outside shot at this thing. I know that they're missing one of their drivers tonight, but we have seen those races before where the other 3 drivers, Daniel Bowther, Troy Dow, Chad Wampler, can all have amazing nights at the same time, and so they could crawl their way back into this thing.
Well, I will tell you, if I was to give you 3 drivers to watch here tonight, a Steak Dance driver is definitely one of them. Just giving you the teams. We'll get into the drivers to watch later. Steak Dance, Rev Racing, and Team SRN they all hold a driver that I think is going to be one to watch tonight. Stryker Motorsports as well. There's a Stryker driver that I think is going to be pretty solid tonight.
All right, well, let's check out those team introductions sponsored by Paints by Night. So if you need any iRacing paints at all, go to speedracingnetwork.com and order your paint by paints by night. So a lot of the drivers out on the track tonight have those paints, and Ashton Knight does a great job. So if you want to see his stuff, go to Trading Paints and follow Ashton Knight, and you'll see all of his car designs. Really amazing designer.
Yeah, and these teams, man, I'll let you lead us off with this team here, and we'll talk more about who I think is going to have a solid running.
So Stryker Motorsports, right now, the team leaders in the Risk It for the Brisket Team Championship. So the number 71, Travis Trevelyan, the number 25 of Dean Brummett, the number 9 of Jake Rowell, the number 15 of Jacob Smith, and you can't look past those 5 wins.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, the one guy that I want to highlight, the one that I thought would have a good run here tonight, excluding super speedway races, as far as I know, unless I missed a race, his worst finish is 13th. He had one 13th, one 11th, and the rest of those were in the top 10, of course, excluding the restrictor plates. It's the man driving the number 25 machine, Dean Brummett. Even on a bad night, he's still not down and out. He's just a little bit lower than we typically see him. I think he's going to go a long way tonight at Homestead.
Well, next up we got Revved Racing, and so that's led by Adam Pettet in the number 57. The 09 of Aaron Gerwitz is also in the playoffs. Then you got number 11, Brandon Key, an incredible driver in his own right, and then number 87, Sean Dice, also a great driver.
Yeah, and this team, another one with a guy that I think is going to go a long way. He sits P2 on the board right now in practice. It's going to be Adam Pettet. You see those 2 wins next to his name. Not a single one of those came early in the season when everybody was trying to get to victory lane. He's ramped it up near the end of the season here, and he's coming to make a statement in the championship race.
Next up, we got Stake Dance Racing, and again, we said, you know, they've got an outside shot at this team championship, but don't look past now because there's 2 guys that are in the race tonight that are still in the playoffs, and that's Daniel Bowdler and Troy Dow.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, just talking about even, you know, Chad Wampler, Stan Hausman. Stan is in the playoffs, unfortunately, not here with us tonight, so that'll definitely hurt him. But another one, you know, this team had one that I was talking about having a really tough driver tonight. He's had probably everything he could have go wrong this season, but he's fast tonight. It's the 6 car of Daniel Bowdler. He's really kind of honed into this setup. He sits P4 on the board for practice, but don't think for a single second that's just a challenge to him. There are 3 guys faster than him. That's just going to mean, you know, he's going to run that much harder, and I think he's around somewhere at the end.
All right, next up we got Tank Racing, and this has been a team that, again, they are really, really, really good at pack racing. They love racing together out there on the track, and if they do get together out there on the track, it's tough to beat them. Yeah,
and I mean, Devin Zimmerman, Mike Lepicki, Derek Da Silva, they're guys that handle the high line very well. The middle to high line is where, you know, they can run. I know I was talking to Zimmerman earlier, and that was one thing I didn't know about Devin Zimmerman was how well he liked the high line, and he said, hey, I can tolerate it. If I have to go up there and run, I can do it with, you know, pretty much with everyone. So these guys, obviously, you know, Zimmerman, the only one in the playoffs. The other 2 guys, Lepicki and Da Silva, looking for a strong finish tonight. Haven't broke through and really found that knockout run yet. Could be tonight because these guys know how to get it done when it's close racing.
Next up, we got Bronco Motorsports, and this has been a team that's actually been on the rise. And so they're led by Chris Massey in the number 83. Just got eliminated from the playoffs last week, but still, look out for him tonight. He is one of those drivers that could surprise you. Greg Olnick, we've been watching him for a few weeks. Brad Herman, right now, same thing, watching him for a few weeks. Brian Crocker, kind of the new guy on the block. We're still trying to feel him out, see how he's doing. But Bronco as a team is one of those teams that's really tough to look at as not being contenders.
Yeah, and honestly, when I look at these four drivers on this team here, obviously the first coolest thing that I see, 83, 84, 85, 86. I think that's super cool that they run the corresponding numbers. But just looking at the drivers alone, when I look anywhere, it doesn't matter where I look as far as racing goes, at streams and broadcasts, the man I see all over the place, Brad Herman. Out of all the drivers that I've seen here tonight, as far as, you know, recognition for me, I guess would be the way to say it. I see that guy in the car all the time. Brad Herman's putting in the laps. He's putting in the time in the sim. He's learning every track. He may not have it this year. This year might not be his year, but you better believe if he sticks around or wherever he ends up running for a championship, Brad Herman is the man coming for him. You can never count out Chris Massey. Chris Massey's always fast. Same for I think it's Greg Olnick or Olenek. I'm not sure how you say his last name. Brian Crocker. I don't know much about Brian Crocker, but if he runs like the rest of these guys, watch out, guys.
Next up, we got Team SRN. You were talking about them a little bit earlier, where this may have one of your picks in it. So leading off with number 78, David Duke, then the number 21 of Danny Dow, who's in the playoffs, number 17 of Danny Setzer, and then number 44, my old broadcast partner and the leader of TR's Corner, Thomas Rutherford.
Well, I'm going to tell you, my pick to win this race tonight resides on this team. I'm not going to spill it just yet. We'll get to that, a little bit later. But my pick to win this race is a member of Team SRM. Just one driver alive in the playoffs. Obviously, Thomas come in a little bit late. Didn't have as much time as the other guys, but he still made a valiant run. Solid driver, the Iceman. Right now, not showing really good lap times by Thomas, but that's when he's the most dangerous, Sean, is when he doesn't start out running good. He keeps ticking away at it, knocking laps out. And by the end of the thing, you'll be talking about Thomas Rutherford no matter where you are. David Duke, man, I hate that he missed the playoffs by 3 points because I think we have a total different story here had David Duke made that last 3 points that he needed to get in, because these races here are tough for a lot of guys. But David Duke, I was talking earlier and I was asking in the general chat when they were running practice sessions, and I had asked guys, I said, who do you guys think is going to win the Homestead race? And myself, I said David Duke, or not Homestead, sorry. That's incorrect, I guess. Auto Club, where we go for the championship, Sean. I asked a lot of guys who they thought was going to win the Auto Club race, and multiple people said David Duke. So when it comes Auto Club time, whoever the 5 are that are left better think they're lucky stars that David Duke wasn't on that list.
Absolutely. Now, next up, this is kind of a team that got together mid-season, but they've still had a really good run out there. So the number 8 of Justin Boyles, the number 66 of Jonathan Byer, number 62, Matt Johnson, who's still out there in the playoffs, and the number 00 of Marshall Stanley. This is Flashpoint Racing.
Yeah, these are a solid group of 4 guys that are just lights-out drivers. Matt Johnson hasn't really had the playoffs that he has wanted. He's still alive today, and that's really all that you can ask for when it comes to a playoff system such as we have here. You're just trying to stay alive. One thing, back same as David Duke, these guys better be glad that Justin Boyles is not a name still, in the playoffs and actually made it into the playoffs, because Justin Boyles is, one of the top drivers that I know, one of the top drivers in this series. We've seen him, Sean, on other broadcasts where he'll go out and he'll run with guys that in a lot of people's minds are way better than he is. And Boyles proves that that's not the case. When you count him out is when he's most dangerous. So Flashpoint, a solid race team here this season. I think we'll see more of them in the future.
Next up, we got the fun team. This is the do-gooders. And so the number 24 of Taylor Smith, the number 90 of Corey Knight, the number 93 of Brad Yonkman, and the number 36 of Kyle Spees.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm just seeing, unless I missed someone, I'm only seeing 2 of those drivers on the list. So these guys have had fun all season long. They're learning. They're getting better. I think they've got a bright future out in front of them. Obviously, Corey Knight, league owner overall. Taylor Smith, that man, ever since I've known him, he's been running A officials, B officials, C officials, just learning tracks, and it's starting to show. Last year, all season long, he was one of those drivers that I myself overlooked. He made it super far in the playoffs. I can't remember right off if he was at the Bristol race for the championship, but even this year, I looked down the standings and I was like, man, there's guys that in my opinion were better than Taylor Smith, but he outpointed those guys. He filled the gap of guys that were better than him. So this team coming on strong, coming together, and just as you said, they're having fun while they're doing it all.
Absolutely. Now, next up is H2K. This is Hard to Kill. And so these guys really had a rough season this year. Their talent level is so much better than what we saw in the point standings.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't mean this in a negative manner, but if I was to look at a team that really disappointed what I expected of them, it's these guys. And the reason I say that is these 4 drivers can be at the top, especially the driver, the number 88, Joseph DuPont. He's one of the quickest drivers I know. I know had we went to more road courses, it'd be more dangerous for him. He, resides on the road course side of things. But this team, man, it's like they just haven't had anything fall their way this season. If you look back to all the way back to the Roval, where DuPont was running in the top 5, would have been, I think, his best finish all season. Honestly, had a shot to win it with some other things happened late, but he too got taken out by a lap car. which kind of ruined his night. So just bad luck, honestly, bad luck, and not being able to take advantage of opportunities that other guys have been able to take advantage of. And a solid race team.
Definitely. And finally, we have Jam Racing. So number 5 of Mike Lewis, number 4 of Jay Graves, number 96 of Joe Ruggles. And I'll tell you a secret, Brandon. Jay Graves is up there towards the top of the do-gooder standings, where you're the cleanest driver in the league.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not a surprise at all, because there's certain drivers that I look at as we go through team introductions, and we call these races, and I know I haven't been able to make a few of these, but I've still watched back the broadcast. I've watched every single broadcast for MidSouth Madness this season at least once, some of them more than once. And a driver that's always there, he's always, doing his thing, gaining positions, but you never really talk about him, is that driver in the number 4, Jay Graves. He's just running a super quiet race, doing his thing, getting better. And it's showing, he's at the top of the do-gooder standings. I think, honestly, when it comes to postseason rewards, again, I think Mike Lewis, the man's best friend, my pick for the man's best friend. On top of that, Jay Graves, if he brings home the do-gooders award, that'll be just as good as a championship for them. They're a young team, their first season together. And if I'm not mistaken, which I don't think that I am, Mike Lewis was the only one that ran with us last season. So, new to MSM, new team for us to broadcast, but I think they've got a long way to go, and the only way to go is up.
Absolutely. Now, we do this for fun, but we also do this for money. So we were talking about the Do-Gooder Safe Driver Award. So that's $50 for the season. The Brookstone Animal Hospital Man's Best Friend Award, that's the one that you were talking about with Mike Lewis. That's $50 to that person who's just the best guy in the league, not necessarily the best driver, plus $25 to the charity of that winner's choice. Then you have the Steak Dance Team Championship. We're calling that the Risk It for the Brisket Team Championship. So that's $200 to the top team. And then our season-long grand champion is going to win $500.
Yeah, and it's starting to get to the point where these guys are starting to lick their lips, Sean. They've been racing all season, and it's almost crunch time. The guys on the teams that are at the top of the team standings, they've got $200 waiting for them. Just coming, man. Like, they're closing in on it. But what's crazier than that, you could have a driver from a team that wins $200 also stack himself up and win the $500. So we could be having one driver seemingly take it all. And it's getting close. Just, 3 more races after this, we'll crown a champion. Someone will get the check, and that'll all be done.
That's absolutely right. Now, on your screen right now, you can see the playoff drivers. So there are still 11 people in the playoffs. So Bobby Brill with 3 wins, Dean Brummett with 2 wins, Adam Pettet with 2 wins. Actually, Jake Rowell has 2 wins as well, so that's a mistake there. So I apologize for that. But then you got Troy Dow, Danny Dow on different teams, but both with a win, and then Daniel Badler in there with a win as well. And then we got 4 guys that got in on points. And so out of these 11, Brandon, we're getting rid of 2 of them.
Yeah, and honestly, obviously, unfortunately, I know there's a lot of words all at once. Stan Houseman probably going to be one of those guys. I still don't see him on track. I think it was scheduled for him to not be here tonight, so he will be one of the eliminated. If by chance, he still does have roughly 6 minutes to get in before grid time, so maybe if something changes, he comes and he runs. But above all that, Sean, one of those 10 drivers that you see up there on the screen above Stan Houseman are going to join him in the elimination. Next week, we're going to do the same thing. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, looking out there on the track right now, I don't see Matthew Johnson either tonight. And so if that's the case, then those 2 will be the eliminated drivers. And then these other guys, they get kind of a free pass into the next round, which is absolutely amazing.
On my timing and scoring, I do have Matthew Johnson. He just has not ran a lap in either practice or qualifying. So he is currently in the session. I don't see that he's disconnected unless I missed it. He was here at one point. He's showing on my roster, but he has not left the pits. His car is not even on pit road, so he hasn't even loaded into the race car. So he still may not be here, maybe wait until last minute to load in, start at the back. But honestly, that's a tough thing to do when you have to drive through this field. Sean, I do want to put you on the spot real quick. If you had to choose 2 of these drivers that you expect to see at Auto Club racing for a championship, who do you got?
Oh, it's got to be Dean Brummett and Bobby Brill. They've been on fire. I'll say that Adam Pettet is right up there with them. So out of those 3, if all 3 of them don't make it there to the last race, I will be shocked.
I'm going to agree with you. If I give you 2, it's 2 of the 3 that you said. I think Bobby Brill will be there, but if I was to pick 2 for sure guys that I wanted to bet on right now, it's Dean Brummett and Adam Pettet. I think those guys are just, as we said, Dean's had solid finishes all season. Obviously, I don't know. I just saw his qualifying lap come up. I don't know if it's his first one or if he's doing it by design. He's lower in the qualifying standings, but I know he's been fast on the night. Adam Pettet just been so hot as of late, man. He's got the hot hand, as hot a hand as anybody. Realistically, I've heard a lot of guys chirping Adam Pettet, Adam Pettet, Adam Pettet here tonight. So that's a little bit scary for these guys if he takes another win. But anything can happen.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Bobby Brill here really quickly. And so Bobby Brill from Virginia, he's a welder. Regular season he was ranked number 3, but here he is with 3 wins now. He is up in the front of the standings, and so going to be a very formidable opponent out there.
Yeah, and honestly, the one thing that I want to look at and point out for Bobby Brill real quick, Sean, if you look, his wins, Daytona, Indy, Michigan, all longer tracks, 2 miles or longer to be exact. Auto Club's going to drive a lot like those. I can't remember if Auto Club is quite 2 miles or not, but I know it's a longer track and it's going to drive similar to some of those tracks. So better hope that if he's in the playoffs still at Auto Club, he's going to be dangerous.
Next up, we got Dean Brummett, the number 25 for Stryker Motorsports. Now, Dean is one of your good friends from the past.
Yeah, I've known Dean for a long time. Worked at Dish Network with Dean. He races the karts in real life, as you see there. He's a great kart driver, a great all-around guy. And if I had to pick someone other than Mike Lewis for Man's Best Friend Award, it's this man right here. Obviously, he's a championship favorite in a lot of guys' eyes. And as I look at the playoffs left, if I was betting 100% to pick solely one driver to make it to Auto Club, it's this guy right here. I think he's got the best shot to win the championship, if I'm being honest.
Well, don't tell that to Adam Pettet, because he's been on a tear. He's won 2 of the last 3 races, and he is peaking at the right time. So he's from Kansas. We call him the master of saving tires, and that's really how he's won the last 2 races that he's won. And then, he qualified in with 1 win. So great guy, a lot of fun to watch him drive. Watch out for him.
Yeah, and honestly, I know a lot of guys that are talking about his tire saving. I'll be honest with you. There's not a guy in here. The only person I put close to Adam Pettet in saving tires is Bobby Brill. Outside of that, I think Adam Pettet, he's still the best tire saver in here. And these races where tire saving has been important, you've seen Adam Pettet at the front. I will tell you, Auto Club, Las Vegas, Kansas, and Homestead, all going to be tracks where it's going to be important to save tires. So watch out for the driver of the 57.
Jake Rowell. Now, I'm loving the way that this guy drives. He races hard all the time. If it's a short run, Jake Rowell is going to win this race.
Yeah, and that's what you have to watch out. It does not matter if he qualifies dead last. By the end of the thing, you're going to say Jake Rowell's name. I've known Jake longer than I've known anyone in this league. I used to race with him all the way back to the NASCAR 09 days. And one thing has never changed. It's his drive to win. He hates to finish second place. He hates to finish third place. And if there's anything he can do to take the W, better count Jake Rowell in on that.
Next up, we got Troy Dow from Stake Dance Racing. So one of the 3 guys still in technically. Of course, Stan Houseman won't be here today. So one of the 2 guys that will be on the track for Stake Dance Racing in the playoffs. So from Memphis, Tennessee, a big Tennessee Vol fan. And, he got 1 win back at Dover.
Well, when I think MidSouth Madness, Sean, if I'm thinking of one name that exists to me, it's Dow. It doesn't matter if it's Danny or Troy. Their names have been all over MidSouth Madness. Troy got the first win. Danny got the first championship. They're both in the playoffs now, and they've been killing it.
Well, let's talk about Danny. So this is last season's champion, Danny Dow, and here he is still fighting in the playoffs, also from Memphis, Tennessee. Big Dallas Cowboys fan. We always have little fun side bets about the Dallas Cowboys, honestly. And then he did win back at Pocono.
Yeah, and I don't think he's done yet. Danny Dow, the only thing I hold against him is the fact that he's a Cowboys fan.
Daniel Ballard, one of the most consistent drivers out there on the track. I absolutely love how smooth this guy is out there.
Yeah, and Daniel's been at the bottom, he's been at the middle, and he's rising to the top. Be afraid of Daniel Ballard as he continues his climb to take the top spot.
Next up, Devin Zimmerman from Tank Racing. He has been very consistent this entire season. Only one from Tank that made it into the playoffs, but this guy has always challenged for the lead.
Yeah, and as you see down there at the bottom, no wins yet, but don't count him out. There's 3 races left after this one, and he could win at any one of them.
Aaron Gerwitz from Rev Racing, we saw him on TR's corner, and he is extremely confident that he and his team can do really well here at Homestead-Miami.
Yeah, and one thing certain on him as well, he's never out until he's out. Once he was in the playoffs, you kind of counted him out being close on the line. He got in, and he's still alive now. He's outlasted guys that did better than him all season, and consistency has been his best friend.
And last but not least, Matt Johnson from Flashpoint Racing. Now, this is a guy that, he jumped onto the Flashpoint team, but, lately in the last couple of weeks, there have only been a couple of the guys from that team on there. So he's kind of been going at it alone.
Yeah, he's kind of been a solo train here as of late. I know Boyles has been tied up. Not sure. I think Byers here tonight. I see him on the roster. But, just as you said, he's been going at it alone for the most part. His teammates just haven't been there to help him. And he hasn't, it hasn't slowed him down. He's still alive in the playoffs. I know we said he may not have been here tonight, but he is here. He's still very well got a shot. And you should be worried about Matt Johnson until you eliminate him.
That's right. Now let's take a look at our qualifiers. So Dean Brummett qualifies on the pole. Danny Dow in second. Brandon Key in third.
Fourth place, we got Brad Herman. Fifth place, Bobby Brill. In sixth place, Chad Wampler.
Seventh, you got Adam Pettet. Eighth, you got Aaron Gerwitz himself. And ninth, you got Devin Zimmerman.
10th place is David Duke. 11th place, Daniel Bowler, a couple of my really good iRacing friends. In 12th place, the standalone man as of late, Brian O'Shell.
Yeah, Brian drives that really fun Pit Viper car, so we'll hone in on that here in a few minutes. But, man, look at just the top 12 alone. Any of those guys could win this race.
Yeah, and honestly, just to look down through here, top to bottom, there's a couple of guys that didn't qualify as good as they run. I'm not going to tell you that there's anyone out here that I count out tonight. Even from, I know it's going to sound like a little bit of a far stretch, but from first all the way down to 23rd was less than a second. Of course, a couple things could have went different, could have been a bad pit stop, but
all right. Well, it
less
looks
than a second from first to 23rd. Anything could happen.
Yes, it can. And so take a look at all those cars out there. We got 27 cars, actually 26 on the track, I believe. So we're trying to get the last couple guys in there. And so we are about to get this thing started coming down 3 and 4. Who's your pick, Brandon?
Danny Dow.
Love that pick, but I'm going to go with the hot hand. I'm going to go with Adam Pettet. So he's got the hot hand in the past two of the past 3 weeks. He's been practicing like crazy all week this week. Let's see who's right.
Well, I tell you what, let's not count out the West Virginia kid on the front row who's taking off now and sending us the green flag racing, and he's out of there like a rocket ship. Sean, neither of us picked Dean Brummett, the kid from just down the road from me, but he's going to be hard to knock out, hard to beat tonight.
Yeah, he's always a tough one to beat out there. He is just really, really consistent. He's loving that high line right now. It gets right up against the wall, and he has already opened up a little bit of a lead.
Well, I was getting ready to say, I'm wondering if second on back has realized we've been green yet, because Dean Brummett is taking it to these guys early out of the gate. I know we're on lap 2, but one thing's for certain, if this stays green and Dean checks out, you might as well catch him at the finish line at the end of this thing, because he's going to run all 100 laps as hard as he can.
And you can see coming into the screen there, Matthew Johnson, he loaded in a little bit late, and so he is about to go another lap down. So he's already 1 lap down, and this will I believe, mean that he is 2 laps down once Dean Brummett passes him here.
Yeah, and just showing across, you are, actually, I'm showing that he's not a lap down yet. I see Troy Dow is 1 lap down. According to my updated iRacing standings, though, Matt Johnson tail into the lead lap. So we'll see how it updates this time by. Not really sure what happened to Troy. Troy did not stay in the session. He has manually disconnected a playoff driver. Not sure what's going on there with Troy Dow, though.
Yeah, a couple of guys having internet issues tonight, I believe. So we're having a few of those technological issues, as we have some friends that call it. So we will see what happens with all that as we get back out there on the track. Dean Brummett finally passing Matt Johnson there on the outside.
Yeah, and I was going to say the one thing that Matt Johnson has to do here, he has to have everything go right, because right now, if everything stays the same, if the race were to end at this exact second, Matt Johnson, even though 1 lap down, would be in. Troy is out. If there's a driver in this league that you do not want chasing you down, they have the last name Dow. You can never count out a Dow, not until the checkered flag flies. So obviously Matt Johnson got to do everything that he can to separate himself from Troy Dow, make sure that Troy doesn't get ahead of him, because then he would be the driver out. But Sean, really anything can happen right now as one of these top guys up here running in a bunch, and there's a few of them back around Daniel Bowdler. Any of them could be taken out early, and then it wouldn't matter. Even 3 laps down, Troy Dow would transfer as long as he finished ahead of that said driver.
Well, his father, Danny Dow, is up there in second position, trying to get up to Dean Brummett there. But Brandon Key from Rev Racing, not in the playoffs, but he is putting some pressure on Danny Dow himself.
Yeah, and Brandon Key is one of those guys that he's not in the playoffs, as you said, but he's not a guy that you count out. I mean, he's been it seems like every broadcast we do, at some point we're talking about him running first, second, third, somewhere in the top 3 on a podium. And once he finally punches, we just come to life, much like we saw Jacob Smith early in his MSM tenure. Of course, he's had a little bit slower races here as of late, but early on, he really comes to life.
Yeah, you can see Matt Johnson is 1 lap down now, so not as far back as what we originally thought. So that's a good thing for him, because again, Troy Dow has left the session, and if that's the case, then Troy Dow will be the one eliminated. So we'll see if Troy can jump back into the session here soon.
Yeah, and it looks like just what I'm seeing on my end, manually disconnected, reconnected, and then throughputed. So obviously put himself in a deep hole here as of early in this race. Unfortunately for Troy, it's not the way that you would like to go out if you're a driver, or even for some of these guys still in the playoffs. It's not the way you would want a fellow chase racer or playoff racer, however you look at it, to go out. And, hopefully something turns around. Maybe he gets back in and just squeaks by, because I definitely like Troy Dow as a person and a driver. But I tell you what, there's about 25 more on the lead lap, 24 more on the lead lap. They better start doing something to catch this 25 car.
Yeah, looking back a little ways. So
He's out there for a Sunday stroll right now.
Yes, he is. Looking back a little ways, looking at Bobby Brill back here, going to work, and right behind him, Aaron Gerwitz in that yellow and black 09 car, and then that is Daniel Bowdler on his inside. That's in the 6 car. So 3 playoff drivers side by side, back to back to back there.
Just looking up ahead to Bowdler and Gerwitz. The one thing that's crazy, and even right here, Chad, it's not in the playoffs, but Adam Pettet down there is that white black car. One slip, and that that's a fast repair down. You got to go in and take it, and you've still got 89, this time I think 88 laps to go, where you've got to really take it easy early. But the easier you take it, the further the top 3 get away from you. Even third place got about a 1.1 second gap on 4th, so the top 3 really trying to separate themselves, and that man right there is trying to separate himself from the 2 behind him. Obviously, really proud of these guys so far, because Homestead, with this setup, is 1 step away from just wrecking a bunch of race cars. And so far through lap 11, coming to lap 12, they've done a good job of giving each other space and room, taking it easy.
Yeah, all these guys, really great drivers out there. So have always been impressed by the caliber of talent that we have in this league. And, of course, 12 laps in, no real damage or anything like that as of yet. Of course, we probably just cursed it, honestly, but really great drivers out here.
Yeah, and I'm set right now to focus, for my iRacing, to focus on crashes. And I'll tell you how good these guys have been. I've been riding around with Dean Brummett for 13 laps now, so knowing, and as I say that, it switches away to a driver who got a little loose in the back. But, I mean, no really out-of-line issues from these cars. They've all ran solid, clean races right now. And, you know, that's a good start to a 13-lap race. Obviously, still a long way to go. Hopefully, we didn't curse it. But, you know, these guys are killing it out here right now.
Yes, they are. So we're zoned in right now on Danny Dow. He is 1.7 seconds behind the leader. And let's go back a little ways. Let's get a little bit better driving out here. So we got Brad Herman out here in the 85 car. We talked about him a little bit earlier. He is always out there on the track, wherever the track is, in trucks, in cars, in cup cars, whatever it is. But he is on the tail right now of Aaron Gerwitz, who we spoke to in TR's Corner.
Yeah, and honestly, speaking of Brad Herman, I don't know how many, and Sean, even if you did, that endurance race, the 6 hours at Daytona, one spot away from taking his team to victory lane was Brad Herman. The race ultimately ended under caution. He had put himself in position. He even late in the race, about 10 minutes to go, Brad Herman was a lap down, never gave up, got that lap back, raced back to second position, avoided the wreck at the end, and it went back green. I think that man would have put that, you know, that team in victory lane. I think he would have. That he needs to do. But the one driver I want to note on, Sean, I think he's currently riding in the 13th position. Coming to join his teammate, the biggest mover right now, Jacob Smith. Fortune drivers coming to the front to join their teammate Dean Brummett. Already Jacob Smith up 11 spots, Jake Roel up 10 spots.
So they may not have qualified very well, but they are starting to find something out there on the track. And so watch out for the entire Stryker Motorsports team. But up front right now, Bobby Brill has started making moves. He has moved into the 3rd position.
Yeah, and this goes back to what I was saying pre-race, you know. Look back about 3 spots from him. You see Adam Pettet starting to knock off spots. These are the 2 best tire savers in this league, Sean. And they've saved those tires. They're using that to their advantage now. Bobby Brill, I know I ran another league, Lightning Speed Racing, or I'm not sure. I know it was LSR was the abbreviation for that league with Bobby Brill. And on every restart, Bobby Brill would go backwards 10, 15 positions. You're like, what in the world is Bobby Brill doing? 10, 15 laps into the run, when you'd burnt your stuff up, here comes Bobby Brill, and he'd check out. You know, same with Adam Pettet every single time. He starts going back a little bit, letting guys around him. And then here he comes all of a sudden. He's knocking those spots off. So they're able to save tires very, very well. And it's showing now as he's beyond Gerwitz and Bowdler, a couple of the guys that he was behind. I think we're going to start running down Brandon Key, the teammate here soon. Obviously, Matt Johnson holding his own up here. That will not be for the first car. 1 lap down.
Well, again, this track is really a lot of fun for me to drive, at least, just because you have so many different lines that you can go. And so that's what's causing such good green flag racing out here right now, is there's so much room on the track, and there's so many times that you can actually go high, go low. You've got control over the car a lot more than a lot of different races.
Yeah, and it's going to be much of the same. I know, you know, we're at the heating up Homestead 150 this week. We're headed out to Kansas next week, and you're going to see a lot of that same thing, Sean, where you can run the top, middle to bottom at different parts of the runs. These are, you know, like I said, I'm not good at Homestead. Kansas next week, one of my favorite tracks on the circuit. So a lot of that driving and tire saving going to be coming up in a few weeks. And these guys that are saving tires now at Homestead are going to be the same thing next week at Kansas. Be a much different story, though. I think the fast line, as we get about this point in the road next week, will be up against that wall, much where we see some of these guys running down. I just keep watching that 57 car. I know he was your pick, the tire-saving king as of late, and he's just knocking down fast laps. We saw a couple laps ago, he was a good ways back from Matt Johnson, who's a lap down at Brandon Key, but here he comes, Sean. He's right on the back bumper of the 62, going to let him go, and he'll set his sights on the 4th place car, Brandon Key.
Yeah, and make no mistake. So these guys in 4th, 5th, and 6th position, Brandon Key, Adam Pettet, Aaron Gerwitz, they're all teammates, but man, they love nothing more than to get into their chat room after this race and say, I beat you.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I'm sure has been a problem for all of them so far is the fact that, Adam Pettet has just been week after week getting to say that to these guys because he's been a solid run. And just looking at lap times, last lap time for the leader was 34.69. The last lap time for Adam Pettet was 57. Actually, in the top 5, Bobby Brill, the other tire saving machine, ran 44. So Bobby faster than Adam, but Adam faster than everyone ahead of him except for Bobby Brill. So it's starting to come into that tire-saving race now, and we're seeing these guys surface. Bobby Brill's still a little ways behind Danny Dow for second place. And honestly, the guy that, kind of doubts himself in a lot of ways at tire-saving, Danny.
Yeah, but you can see here that Danny Dow is catching Dean Brummett. Just slowly but surely, every now and then, he will have a better lap. And you can see here where Dean Brummett's laps are worse than Danny Dow pretty much every lap so far, except for lap 18 there. And so, make no mistake, Danny Dow is on the move.
Yeah, and that's, Danny even kind of doubted himself a little bit. He said, I don't know, man, Adam Pettet's fast. Dean Brummett's fast. And that was earlier in the session. And I said, I think the guy that I'm going to pick to win the race is in here right now. Danny Dow said, I agree. And I said, just curious, Danny, who are you talking about? He said, Danny Dow. So, he had the confidence, and I agreed with him. He was my pick even before I got into the practice and ran with him. He's got confidence behind the wheel of that 21 car right now, and he wants we've got a crash. Brad Herman is around, but it looks like he saved it, had a little bit of contact there.
But that will pull out a caution flag. And so we will go back and take a look with our first of the night wreck replay. Well, if we can get there. So let's take a look. We are attempting to get that replay, so we apologize if that has not come up. So we will get that for you shortly.
Based on the reactions that I'm hearing for you, Sean, I believe we're having a little bit of issues both with Discord and with iRacing right now. But I will say the one thing I heard in driver chat as that caution came out, a disappointed Danny Dow who said no. It was just a big sigh that he did not want to see that caution because he knew he had finally found his groove and he was rolling.
Well, let's take a look back at this season's standings for the time being. Let me see if we can't get a couple of things going. I know we're having a few computer issues right now and just some glitchiness going on. We're going to try to get that fixed. So we apologize for those technical difficulties that we're having.
Just looking at the entry, Sean, I believe a little bit of it's going to be iRacing side of things as well. Some guys that typically have really good pings and connections to servers showing a little bit of higher end pings here now. Of course, we knew Troy Dow having some internet issues. Could have been iRacing related as well. Nonetheless, we will do all that we can to get everything worked out. While you see the playoff drivers on your screen, I'll give you an update after pit stops. Dean Brummett maintained his lead. Bobby Brill into the second spot. Danny Dow slid one spot back to third. Adam Pettet fourth. Devin Zimmerman in the fifth spot. David Duke up a few to sixth place. Brad Herman, even after the incident we're trying to get for you guys, up to seventh. Aaron Gerwitz eighth. Daniel Bowden ninth. Jacob Smith up 14 spots to the 10th spot. So a couple of guys coming alive after pit stops. We'll see how it holds after the fact, John.
We will try to get everything back under control. We again apologize for any technical difficulties that we are having. as we get back to the race, and we don't have that replay for Brad Herman spinning on the track, but you can see there his car is damaged. And so he is going to have to either ride that thing out or go ahead and use that fast repair, but it looks like he's going to ride it out.
What I'll do here, Sean, give me just a few moments. I'll see. I don't know we won't be able to put it on screen, but I'll go back in my view and see if I can kind of give you guys a play-by-play call. I know there was another car involved with Brad Herman that got him sideways. We'll see. Kind of make the MRN or PRN. And outside of Devin Zimmerman, he goes to arc into the corner, hits the wall, and Devin Zimmerman gets into the side of him, spins the car about 80 degrees to the side and saves it. So the caution coming out was for that. A little bit of contact with the Devin Zimmerman machine, but outside of that, that's pretty much it, Sean.
Well, we appreciate you doing that. Again, we apologize for those technical difficulties. We will try to get those things straightened out. But right now, out there on the track, we do have Dean Brummett up in first. Bobby Brill took the second position away from Danny Dow. Danny Dow in third, and then Adam Pettet in fourth.
And that's actually just lost all of my drivers here, but I see on the Discord screen, lights are out. I'll go 5 or 4 more spots. It looks like fifth place, Zimmerman. Sixth place, David Duke. Seventh, Brad Herman. Eighth, Aaron Gerwins. That's going to be our top 8. As the base car, Sean, about to make its way off track and release it back to Dean Brummett, who waits, and is gone. Back to green flag racing here, starting of lap 30. Actually, I thought it should have been 30. It looks like it's going to be 29 that he will be starting on. So we're back underway.
And let's see what happens here in this one, because, you know, Dean Brummett jumped out to a nice lead at the beginning, and then Bobby Brill and Danny Dow started to pull him in, Adam Pettet as well. Let's see if that holds up, because Bobby Brill, Danny Dow right behind Dean Brummett right now. They want that top spot.
Yeah, and I think just speaking in terms of Bobby Brill, if he wants to have the run that he had earlier with tire he had left, he kind of has to let Dean do that, because that's pretty much Bobby Brill's game. His role is to save tires and be there later in the run. If he changes that too much, it throws him off for the entire race. So if you're a Bobby Brill fan, the driver that will win your team, don't be too concerned if Danny Dow, maybe Adam Pettet get by him early here. It's his game, it's a long game, and that's when he's the most dangerous. So almost a 1 second lead now for looks like Brian Crocker is off track at the back. Not sure if he was the call.
Well, we will go back and check that out, but it does look like it was him. And so he has gone ahead and taken a tow into the pit lane. So let's go back with another rec replay, or actually the first rec replay.
Maybe this one will work for us here. Dent Wiz bringing you the rec replay as always. Very appreciative of them.
And so you can see him in that orange number 86 car. Comes off the corner and then just loses it into the infield and into the inside wall.
Yeah, that's a hard hit there. Not really sure the need for the tow. I don't know if something else happens here. Maybe just going to decide to tow, not really feeling the racetrack there, but didn't look like a lot of damage. Looked like he was well under power and could have drove that car back, but maybe some frustration for, Brian Crocker, things not going the way he would have liked so far today.
Well, out there in the chat right now, we've got Sean Dice, and Sean was not able to make it with us tonight, but he is a member of Rev Racing, so he's saying, let's go Rev'd. And right now, Sean, your teammates, Adam Pettet up in 4th position, Brandon Key in 13th, Aaron Gerwitz in 11th, but Aaron is pitting at this time, so we will see how that strategy works out for him.
Yeah, and that spot for Brandon Key, not very indicative of what he's ran so far in this race. He was up. I think he challenged Dow for second early in the thing. Ran third for a while before the tires started to go away on the machine. So he's been solid, as well as Adam Pettet, Aaron Gerwitz. Both, all your teammates representing well tonight, buddy. Hope to see you back on the track next week in Kansas, though.
And so we did have some guys get into the pits. So Aaron Gerwitz, Jonathan Byard, Greg Olnick, Taylor Smith. So really two drivers from the playoffs. So Aaron Gerwitz and Jake Roel both jumped into the pits. Jake is sitting in the pits a little bit longer than usual. So it looks like he's trying to get his repairs done the old-fashioned way without using a fast repair.
Yeah, and that's one thing about Jake Roel. If he don't use those, if he doesn't use his fast repair now, you get that damage fixed, past some race cars. You see that right front, actually, all kind of damage to the right front of that 9 car. So not really sure if maybe he got into the wall somewhere along the way. As you said, been doing it the hard way. Doesn't look too bad here. Just looking at that right front fender, man, it's a little bit rough for the 9 car.
Seeing if I can see any other damage that I really just don't from any view that we have here. So we will just kind of keep an eye on him, see what happens there. But we got Dean Brummett up front still, so he has led every lap of the race so far. Bobby Brill in second, not going to let him get too far. Bobby's looking to be the first 4-time winner in MidSouth Madness.
Yeah, and just as you chose early in this thing, though, Adam Pettet looking to equalize. He's come up a few spots from where he started, but man, I think the guy that I've had my emphasis on is still Diaz. The guy sitting in 6th place right now. He started at the back, positive 18 positions is Jacob Smith, Sean. He's put on a drive here early, and we haven't really got to see what it's like for him to race with our leaders.
Well, really quickly, while we're under caution, let's take a look at our sponsors. So CMC Fabrication, if you need anything fabricated, anything from racing rigs all the way up to actual NASCAR vehicles, CMC Fabrication can do that. So Dent Wizard, the leaders in paintless dent repair. Brookstone Animal Hospital, for man's best friend, choose the best doctor at Brookstone Animal Hospital. And then Silverback Tax Solutions. If the IRS is coming after you, get that monkey off your back with Silverback Tax Solutions. Paints by Night, the leader in painting on iRacing. Griffith CPA firm, so making taxes less taxing since 1986. And finally, Steak Dance, for the best seasonings in the world, for the best meats in the world. Make your taste buds dance with Steak Dance. So we appreciate all of our sponsors. They are the ones that make this all possible. And, man, we love showing up here every Sunday night, running these races with all these guys. They're all great guys out there on the track. A lot of fun off the track as well.
Yeah, and the one thing that I want to say, being a part of MidSouth Madness Speed Racing Network, I go into a lot of sessions and some guys talking about their sponsors and, the goods and the bads. And I can honestly say with all of our sponsors here at MidSouth Madness, I can only talk about the goods because I don't see any bad side of any of you guys. So we appreciate you guys sticking with us throughout this season and beyond. It's been fun to work with each and every one of you.
And I'm getting word from the admins that actually the number 54, Brian O'Shell, was involved in an accident for that yellow flag. So we'll have to go back and take a look at that later. But right now, the pace car dives off. Dean Brummett has the restart, and he takes off once again. And Danny Dow comes into second place as Bobby Brill gets trapped on the outside. It looks like we may have lost Brandon for just a brief moment, so we will get him back in just a second. And so Danny Dow in second place. Then you have Adam Pettet in third. And Brandon Key coming into the picture, passing Bobby Brill there on the inside. Going back up front, Dean Brummett leading this race right now. Doing a great job of it. He's led every lap so far. Danny Dow back there in second. Adam Pettet in third. Then Jacob Smith in fourth. So a couple of Stryker Motorsports in the top 4 there, trying to get this thing going. Danny Dow there in second place, just 0.4 seconds behind, so not too much damage as far as the lead is concerned. And then you got a huge pack of guys back there in the back, starting off with Daniel Bowdler and then Brandon Key. Then you got Devin Zimmerman. You got all sorts of guys back there, Brandon.
Yeah, and that's the Hornet's Nest. Sorry about going a little bit silent there. Lost connection to the Discord, I do believe. Jumped to another channel and let that regain. But that's a Hornet's Nest right through here right now with all of these guys. A lot of playoff drivers names showing up in this area. Have to be careful racing around one another. Obviously, right now, if you just survive the issues Troy Dow has had, you should be in a good spot. But still don't want to kill the momentum that you've built so far through the season, and especially through the playoffs.
Going back up to the front, so Danny Dow still closing the gap ever so slightly on Dean Brummett, but look at Adam Pettet just riding his coattails.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the lap times, almost actually exactly a tenth faster than our leader that time was Adam Pettet. So I know he's in the draft, but that car just seems to be beautifully taken off out of every corner, into every corner. Adam Pettet is going to make sure he's around for the end of this. And it goes back to what we were talking about. He's been so hot as of late that it's starting to get scary for the rest of the guys in the playoffs.
For these guys that are in the playoffs right now, that really it's already been decided for them who is moving on. So Stan Houseman not able to make the race tonight, so he will be eliminated. And then Troy Dow having internet issues, he will be eliminated as well. So all of the playoff drivers still on the track right now, unless Troy Dow jumps back in and runs about 50 laps. All of those guys are going to be safe for the rest, or for the next round of the playoffs at least.
Yeah, and honestly, just looking at it, he's got about 11. Actually, a little bit less than 11 laps. Yeah, about 11 laps in order for him to get back in and even have a shot at it. And once he crosses the 51 lap down mark, which he's at 40 right now, it's going to be all for naught. And Sean, the biggest blow that I see in that aspect is the fact that coming in, Stake Dance still had 3 guys alive, and as of right now, they'll come out of here with only 1 alive.
Yeah, man. Here comes Adam Pettet into second place, taking that away from Danny Dow. And so now he will continue his charge up to the front to try to take down Dean Brummett.
Yeah, and you see that Dean Brummett machine out front through the corner. He's going to be on the bottom, so he's searching that 25-car round, trying to find the speed that he doesn't have, that Adam Pettet does. Almost 2/10 faster that time by, even with the pass, was Adam Pettet. So definitely going to have to search around a little bit higher into this corner for Dean, almost back up where he was running, just searching desperately for the speed and the grip that Adam's finding, and rightfully so. These are the guys that I'd say right now are going to be the hottest and hardest to beat. But man, the guy back and forth, he's almost there, Sean. Jacob Smith has made it up 20 positions to the 4th spot. And unfortunately for Adam Pettet, who's looking for the lead now, if he doesn't get some gone, the guy back and forth is trying to make a statement here tonight.
Yeah, even if you're not in the playoffs, I mean, this is a great time to come out here and still win a race. I mean, there's still money on the line. There's still a lot of pride on the line, too. So even if you're not in the playoffs, you're not going to roll over and play dead. You're going to get out there and run it.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough tonight to beat Stryker. I know Stryker Motorsports, as we said, Jacob Smith up 20 positions. Jacob Smith, in the 4th spot. Jake Roel continuing his climb up 15 spots to 10th. I think he might be, no, he's just now taking the 10th spot. Sean, let's jump back for just a second, because another driver that's really impressed me. Let's check on the 13th place running driver right now. The man that we saw go a lap down to start this thing, Matthew Johnson, up 13 spots up to 14th. He's keeping himself in this race.
Yeah, Matthew Johnson, great driver, got in a little bit late tonight, but he has not let that get him down. Because of the yellow flags, he was able to jump back on the lead lap, and here he is just moving up the field. Now, out there in the chat, Brandon, we got Sean Dice saying the guy in 4th will burn his tires up, talking about Jacob Smith, and that's a possibility, especially on this track. I mean, it could be possible to burn those tires up, but we will just have to see what happens. But a couple guys up here that might be burning theirs up too. Dean Brummett, Adam Pettet. Actually, Adam is, like we said before, he is the king of saving tires. So I can't imagine he is over pushing this car right now.
Well, I will tell you, if I was to look at every driver we've had run here this season, Sean, and if I picked one thing among all of them that I wanted, it's Adam Pettet's ability to save tires. I think, you know, each week you've got drivers that are better at running faster laps than Adam Pettet, much like Dean Brummett, Jake Rowell, Jacobs. But he saves tires better than anyone else in this league, and I think that's the reason he's starting to come alive. Obviously, these races, some of the longer races we've seen, you know, 100 laps here tonight, where typically this race 25 laps. So the more laps ran in has kind of suited the style of Adam Pettet, you know, the longer deal, and obviously the more green flag racing.
Well, back towards the back, we got Brian O'Shell in that nice pit viper car. We said we key on it, and there it is right there. So loving that good old style car kind of. And so he is working his way back up through the pack. Apparently he was involved in the caution before. We don't have confirmation of that, but we will double check that if we go under another caution. But he is tracking down David Duke, who David Duke, just an incredible driver in his own right.
Yeah, and I think right but you know, just the way these runs have went, the same line that he's running is some of the lines that the guys around him are running. He's finding it a little bit hard to pass, maybe. I know I saw him come up the standings a little bit more than he's running now. However, he knows how to get around every one of these tracks, and I think before it's all said and done, he'll make his resurgence. So just kind of checking and seeing what's going on out there on the track. Bobby Brill has moved up into 4th position, passing Jacob Smith. And so maybe Sean Dice was right. Maybe Jacob has used up a little bit of his tires. Bobby Brill also an expert in saving tires, and that's how he wins the races that he wins. Just looking at Jacob Smith, he's mirroring, well, that time he was to what both Dean and fastest driver on the track, the guy in 2nd place, Adam Pettet, then followed by now, but working nonetheless for anyone better than it is working for Adam Pettet. Oh, we've got Justin Krupman a little bit slow. Yeah, I got a confirmation on my screen there that he had wrecked. Looks like he's back out there on the track. He does have some damage on that front end, you can see. I think he might try to get back to the pit road just to kind of get some stuff fixed. Yeah, and you know, it's back to that H2K Motorsports car that just continues to have a rough go of it here in the playoffs. And, you know, maybe this year they're going to get all the bad out so they can work. Because I know they're all capable of it. Yeah, H2K really actually a great team. So yeah, go ahead, Sean. I said H2K really a great team out there. Really a lot better than they are in the standings. Yeah, and that's for sure. You know, they are all solid drivers. You know, running, and actually I was just looking. I don't see the man that I expected. Actually, doesn't look like he's with us tonight, Joseph Dupont. You know, I know he didn't make the playoffs, and a little bit disappointed by not making the play all season long, but not. As we move back here, so Adam Pettet is still trying to track down Dean Brummett.
And Dean Brummett, like I said, has led pretty much every lap of the 55 laps we've had. So he is just absolutely on rails right now. And we're going to be getting to some green flag pit stops here shortly if this keeps going this way. So that will shake some things up. So going back third place right now, Danny Dow. So he is a little ways back. So got to get him back up into that picture here. So he's about 0.6 of a second ahead of Bobby Brill and about 0.6 of a second, actually a second behind Adam Pettet there. So got a little ways to go. So right now just a 2-car race up towards the front. And we do have a caution out there on the track. And I believe that Thomas Rutherford may have either been involved in that or not sure if that was him being involved or if he was just trying to avoid the wreck. So we will go back and take a look at another wreck replay by Dent Wizard. And again, just having some technical difficulties tonight, ladies and gentlemen, so sincerely apologize for that. We will get those worked on. So not able to pull up that replay. And so we sincerely apologize for that. We will get that going, but going back to talking about next season's leagues, so we still have some stuff to decide for next season. Definitely, there's still a lot of racing this season still to go, but next season we are going to have an absolute blast. We have so many good things coming. It's going to be 20-week seasons, and so 20-week seasons to get everything figured out there on the track. And so all 3 of the series are going to run the same exact schedule. And that will allow us to, if you want to call it promote, it'll allow us to promote drivers through those leagues. So in the truck series, which is going to be on Wednesday nights, if you win or come in, top 2 or 3 in that, then we are going to give you a free entry into the race the next week. And so that way, you get to race against some other people. You get to try your hand at a different car setup and that sort of thing. And so same thing in the Xfinity series. If you come in the top 2 or 3 in that, then we are also going to give you that opportunity to move up into the Cup Series for a race and just kind of see what you can do with it. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see a lot of good racing out there. I'm really, really excited about it. It is something that I've been looking forward to pretty much all season long already. So again, back out there on the track. And again, we do apologize for the technical difficulties that we've been having. We're going to get those worked on definitely. So, but up front we got Dean Brummett. And then Adam Pettet in second place. Adam was tracking him down towards the end of that run. Couldn't quite get there. But he's going to get back out there and try it again. So we've got a few guys going down in the pits. Nobody... not too many people going down into the pits right now, but Dean Brummett bringing us around. I believe we're going to get the 1 to go signal, and we do.
So just listening, Sean, again, some technical difficulties on our end, but it has been made official. Guys will lose in the playoffs this week. I'm not sure if you just touched on this or if you hadn't, but it is official now. Both Stan Hausman and Troy Dow will be eliminated this round. Troy does not have the laps left.
Yeah, which is disappointing because, Troy was one of those that I think could have been top 5 had he been able to have those internet issues go away. And, we understand internet issues. We're having them right now. So we definitely get it.
And it's, it's a lot like a fantasy football league, Sean, where, you can draft the best team, but barring some issues, some injuries, not getting to play, not getting to be there for the game, can easily take the best drafted team and not make it the best, and that's kind of what's happened here. Some internet issues have drawn the straw and drawn the lines for Troy down. We hate to see that, but pace car lights are off, Sean.
They are, and the pace car drops off, and here comes Dean Brummett. He does have the restart, and like I said, he has been up front the entire race so far. And there he goes. Adam Pettet's not going to let him get too far, but Bobby Brill down on the inside.
Yeah, and the one thing, just speaking the rest of the season and momentum, the one thing you do not want to do is allow Dean Brummett to lead from the flag here. One trying to make sure that doesn't happen right now. It's his teammate Jacob Smith up to second.
So Jacob Smith moving up into second place right there behind Dean Brummett. And so we will see if Jacob Smith can help him hold off Adam Pettet. But right behind Adam Pettet, you have Devin Zimmerman there also in the playoffs. So he was kind of back mid-pack there for a little while. But now he has moved up into 4th position, and he can challenge for this lead.
Yeah, and I just look back a little bit further, Sean, and I see some of these cars, these playoff drivers that have just got word from race control, from Jason Tripp, that they're safe, and they're starting to make a little bit more risky, we'll say, moves. As you see back there, Adam Pettet right now on the back bumper of the 15, trying to go for it further back than that. There's a line of cars that are all nose to tail tight as they've ran all night. But they're bumper to bumper now, and really, trying to take the chance to get the win and come alive.
So actually looking down the list a little bit further, so it looks like we got, I believe we got Jake Rowell back there in 9th, or I'm sorry, in 7th, and he is moving up as well. So Striker Motorsports coming alive right now. Adam Pettet trying to get to the inside of Jacob Smith there for 2nd position.
Yeah, and meanwhile, while they do their battle side by side, the guy out front right now, Dean Brummett, he's back to comfort mode. He's working on a 2nd. I know this morning's a little bit messed up there for a moment. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I know it shows 6/10 of a second. More than 6/10 of a second of a lead right now for Dean Brummett. So looks actually about like a 2nd as they run, so maybe a little bit off on the timing as well. Again, plenty of technical difficulties going on for us tonight. I know Sean and I have been kind of all over the place with each other. Discord issues, iRacing issues, just not really going the way, but we're going to make the best of it here in this round of the playoffs for MidSouth Madness.
Yes, we are. So right now we are keyed in on Adam Pettet, trying to make that move into 2nd position. Right now, Dean Brummett has a nice little lead on his own teammate, Jacob Smith, there in the 15.
Well, the one guy right behind these two that I want to talk about, we haven't really mentioned his name all night. It's going to be that 33 car of Devin Zimmerman. He's been, much silent in this race, just trying to survive. He just wanted to make it through this round, and now he knows he has made it through this round, so he's starting to gain positions and come forward up to the 4th spot where, he's been back a little bit further all night. Started in the 9th spot, but much, back in traffic, battling with the Hornet's Nest behind him, and has finally broke free. And the longer that these two right here, Adam Pettet and Jacob Smith, battle, the closer it's going to allow Devin Zimmerman to get, maybe.
And they are definitely battling. Yeah, they're definitely battling out there. They're definitely getting it going.
think right now the good news for the man out front, Dean Brummett, these two back here just trying to one-up each other. Jacob has been burning his tires up faster than Adam, but Adam running that lower line is going to burn his up just as fast now, and that's a good thing if you're a Dean Brummett or a Dean Brummett fan. I know he tags a bunch of guys in the post every single week, shares the stream out, so he's got supporters here pulling for him, and right now he's been pretty much the control car. The only car that's been ahead of Dean Brummett is the pace car, Sean.
We're just watching this great race for second place here. And as these guys are racing, Dean Brummett is just pulling further and further ahead.
Yeah, and there comes Devin Zimmerman starting to make his way into the picture. He's starting to inch it ever so closer to those two racing for second position now. All he wants to do is reach up here and take it away from both of them.
He is certainly trying to get up there. Adam Pettet finally gets into second place, but Jacob Smith does not want to give it up so easily, so here he comes.
Yeah, but I think now that Adam has the outside line, he has the faster car, so once we use a little bit more, we're going to touch a little bit there.
Yeah, but everybody seems to be
what
okay.
Happened ever so close. Maybe didn't make contact, but
And again, if we are cutting in and out, we certainly apologize for that. This is a technical difficulty type of race. We've had a lot of drivers that have dropped throughput, basically just meaning that their internet has not really worked that well. That's kind of where we're at right now on our servers as well. We think that part of it may be iRacing and part of it may be Discord. We're just not 100% sure, so we certainly apologize for what is going on right now on the track as far as not being able to get around the track very well. So, but the best race out there on the track right now is this second position race. That is Adam Pettet, Jacob Smith, Devin Zimmerman. All of them going head to head. And again, all the playoff drivers have, they do realize that they are locked into the playoffs for next week. So there's no harm right now. Even if they wreck out right now, they will still make it into next week's round of 9. So that is a comfort for each of them. As we continue to try to get some technical glitches fixed so we can get your scoring back up. So our scoring system's not linking up to iRacing right now for whatever reason that is, so we do apologize for that. But these three guys definitely putting on a show out there on the track. So Adam Pettet, Jacob Smith, and Devin Zimmerman in that 33. That is the best race on the track right now as everybody's kind of getting spread out back behind them. So Dean Brummett out front, just really showing us how it's done right now. As we have 25 laps to go, Dean Brummett has led literally every single lap, and so he has just been on rails all night long. Adam Pettet trying desperately to track him down. Devin Zimmerman also trying to get up in there. Now, keep in mind, the top 6, based on the number of entries, the top 6 are getting paid out. So everybody trying to get into that top 6. And we will jump back a little way. So right now, back in 6th place is Brad Herman in that number 85 car. Right in front of him is Bobby Brill up there in 5th. Bobby looking for his 4th win of Mid-South Madness. Adam Pettet looking for his 3rd. Dean Brummett up front right now looking for his 3rd win. So a lot of big winners in this league still up front and still trying to get more and more wins every single time. So back a little further, we got some good racing back here. So this is Chris Massey, and he is up on the tail of Greg Olnick, but right down there on the inside, that is Danny Dow. So again, another playoff driver. He is already locked into those playoffs. That was Brandon's pick tonight, is Danny Dow in that number 21 Silverback Tax Solutions car. And so he is kind of marred in that mid pack. It looks like he's got a little bit of damage on that car. So he has definitely been through some of it tonight. And we've got Jake Rowell diving into the pits. And so now here come green flag pit stops. So this is going to make it awfully interesting out there on the track. Dean Brummett still stays out there. So now the question is, when do these guys pit for the last time tonight? And Jake Rowell went ahead and took that early pit stop and, to see if he can get out there on some brand new tires and possibly get back into this thing. So Dean Brummett right now just walking away with this thing right now, about 1.5 seconds ahead of everyone on the track as these green flag pit stops will begin. And so back there in second, Devin Zimmerman in the number 33 car, Adam Pettet in the 57 in third. So but Dean Brummett just putting on a show right now. Jacob Smith has fallen back to 5th position as Bobby Brill takes 4th place away from him. And so with 20 laps to go, the question is, when do you pit? And so, Dean Brummett up into the wall just a tad. Shouldn't hurt him too terribly. But Dean just putting on a show right now. Devin Zimmerman seems to be tracking him down just a little bit. So every now and then he just gets a little bit of a better lap. So we might see Devin Zimmerman get his first win in MSM. And so that has been a long time coming for him. He has always been up near the front, but he does not yet have a win. So this could be the night for him. And again, our stream definitely having some difficulties right now, so we apologize. We're going to try to keep you up to date on what's going on out there on the track. Dean Brummett out front. And out there in the chat, Austin Reedy saying, hey, Sean, rooting for the Brandon Key in that number 11 car and for Chris Massey. So a lot of great guys from some previous broadcasts that we've had. So Austin Reedy, thank you for being here tonight. We do appreciate it. We know it's tough to follow along with what we got going on right now, so we do apologize for that. But Dean Brummett going into the pits. And as long as we stay green, he should come out of the pits, and as everything cycles around, he should regain that lead. But right now, up front, Devin Zimmerman. Going to put Dean a lap down as it sits, but again, once we get back around, then Dean Brummett's going to have the ability to get back out into first place, assuming that everything goes well in his pit stop. So Devin Zimmerman up front, and well deserved. I mean, this is a guy that he has definitely paid his dues in Mid-South Madness. And so we certainly appreciate him. We enjoy watching him run. And we will see what he can do now out there, out front, see how long he can stay out there. As green flag pit stops have started, so it's just a matter of time before he has to come in. Same thing with Bobby Brill, same thing with Adam Pettet, same thing with Brad Herman behind them. So definitely still a lot of race to go here, unless Devin Zimmerman is trying to stretch this thing, which, the more laps we go, the more it seems like he might be trying that. So it's going to be tough to consider coming in with, 14, 12, 10 laps to go. Not sure you're going to have enough time to get back up towards the front. So this might be a play here. And we're trying to keep an eye out there to see where everybody shakes out after this pit stop. And it looks like Devin Zimmerman's slowing down. Oh, no, he's not slowing down. That's just Dean Brummett going fast on the top side. So Dean's got those brand new tires. So Dean will actually get past the hard way. And so Dean is back on the lead lap. And so we will keep an eye on Dean Brummett as he comes around. But Devin Zimmerman right now leading this race. And the question just comes into play, can he make it on fuel? Or is he waiting a little bit too long to pit if he can't make it? Out in the chat, Sean Dice says, actually really happy to see Zimmerman out front. Clean driver and overdue for a win. I 100% agree with you, Sean. Devin Zimmerman has always been a great driver in this league. We certainly love seeing him in this league. And if he does win this race, then it is long overdue for him to do so. So good to see him out front. Now, looks like Jake Roel out there now. Remember, Jake has already pitted, so Jake was a lap down, so he's passing Devin Zimmerman as well. Bobby Brill, though, trying to poke his nose in there for the lead. So this is for position. So Bobby Brill on the inside. Again, trying to be the first four-time winner here in Mid-South Madness. We only have one three-time winner, and that's Bobby Brill. So Bobby trying to really set himself apart. And we are going to stick with this race as long as we can stick with it. So again, if you're just signing on or if you've been sticking with us the whole time, we were having some serious technical issues. So it's really tough for us to actually switch through to different drivers, and we're not 100% sure about how accurate that scoring is right now. So a lot of stuff going on. A lot of our drivers having these issues as well. So not sure it's 100% us, but definitely something fun going on out there. So Bobby Brill up front, Devin Zimmerman in second. You got Jacob Smith going up on the high side. And we will have to look and see. I don't believe that's for position. I believe that Jacob Smith had pitted.
All of Stryker has brought their cars to pit ready.
Excellent. Bobby Brill up front. 8 laps to go. Switch this thing. He passed Zimmerman for the lead. And so now the question is, can he make it on fuel? So all of Stryker Motorsports came into the pits. Dean Brummett, who led literally the entire race. He's back there in 15th position right now. And so trying to work his way back up. But unless these guys up front pit, then he is not going to have a chance at this, I don't believe. You got Devin Zimmerman in second. You got Adam Pettet back here in third. So, but Bobby Brill running away with this thing once again, just like he did a couple races ago. He just got out front and nobody could catch him. He is really good at saving tires in his own right. And he is showing that tonight. So 6 laps to go for Bobby Brill. And if he can just keep that fuel in that car, he is going to win this thing because he is pulling away from Devin Zimmerman right now. So we might see our first 4-time winner. It kind of depends on how much fuel he has left in that tank. You can see the 85 of Brad Herman. Brad had just gotten out of the pit, so he has some fresh tires. He's got a lot of fuel, I believe. So Bobby just going to let him go past. But Bobby Brill, Devin Zimmerman, Adam Pettet, and possibly David Duke all out there, all just trying to play the fuel game right now. And now that they all know, all these playoff drivers know that they are solidly locked into the next round of the playoffs, they can take these risks to try to win that race. So this is the perfect time to take that risk because, I mean, you're not really risking anything. You're definitely in the next round. If you're already in the playoffs right now and you're in this race, then you're in the next round. So no reason not to take this risk if it even is a risk. So we can't see his fuel gauges, unfortunately. So not a thing that we can tell you about there. So, but he has a 4.3 second lead on Devin Zimmerman. So either Devin Zimmerman is seriously saving for fuel, or Bobby Brill is just that much faster. So it'd be awesome if we could see the fuel gauges. It'd be awesome if we could see how much fuel he has left and if he can make it to the end. But he is certainly going to try to. So Devin Zimmerman now 5 seconds behind. Adam Pettet just a second behind Devin Zimmerman. So the race right now is just, can Bobby Brill stay out there on the track? And right now it's looking like he is. So Dean Brummett has moved up into 10th position. He is 17 seconds behind the lead. With 2 laps to go, that is not going to be close enough. So I'm sure we're going to see a couple of these guys running out of fuel shortly. It does look like Bobby's slowing down a little bit, but he's got a lot of room to play with. So he still has 6 seconds on second place. So you can hear how far off the gas he gets into that corner. He just does not want to run out of fuel. That is number one. Do not run out right now. And here we go, white flag for Bobby Brill. As long as he can keep the tires underneath him, he is going to be just fine. As now Adam Pettet has moved into second position. Looks like Devin Zimmerman may be falling off. Devin might be out of fuel. Brian O'Shell moves up into third place. So I believe Devin Zimmerman may have run out. And so now Adam Pettet 8 seconds behind Bobby Brill. But Bobby Brill coming around turns 3 and 4, and he is going to bring it home for the Heating Up Homestead 150, our first 4-time winner in Mid-South Madness. Congratulations, Bobby Brill. Second place is going to go to Brian O'Shell, another independent. Great run out of Brian O'Shell. Long time coming for him. Adam Pettet in third. Daniel Bowdler fourth. Aaron Gerwitz fifth. Dean Brummett will bring it home in sixth after leading basically the entire race. So great run for all those guys. I know Dean Brummett's going to be extremely disappointed with that finish. Jonathan Byer will end up in seventh. Chris Massey in eighth. Greg Olnick in ninth. Jacob Smith in 10th. And so I know there's going to be a lot of disappointment out there for a lot of these drivers, but you can see there Devin Zimmerman down there on the infield. He looks like he ran out of gas there at the very end. So sad to see that. Oh, and Taylor Smith got a nice run there. So always love getting that stuff on camera. But Bobby Brill, congratulations to him. What a great drive. And just one of those things where he capitalized on some guys getting into the pits when they got in there. So wonderful move for him. Congratulations to him. All right, we are having trouble with the Discord right now, so we are not going to be able to do the interviews tonight. We will take a look really quickly here at, well, let's see if Bobby's going to burn it down. It's a little bit for us, I believe. And there he goes. Oh, that was a little bit. So all right, let's pull up the results here. Take a look. So Bobby Brill, first place. Brian O'Shell, second place. Great drive for him. So really impressive there. Adam Pettet in third. Daniel Bowder, fourth. Aaron Gerwitz, fifth. Dean Brummett, sixth. Jonathan Byer, seventh. Chris Massey, eighth. Greg Olnick, ninth. Jacob Smith brings it home in 10th. Derek Da Silva, good drive for him, in 11th. Devin Zimmerman finishes off in 12th after, I believe, he ran out of gas there. Jake Rowell in 13th. Brad Herman, 14th. Chad Wampler, 15th. Danny Dow, 16th. Corey Knight, not somebody that we typically see in the top 20. We're glad to see him up there. So Corey Knight in 17th. David Duke in 18th. Taylor Smith in 19th. And then Joe Ruggles rounds out your top 20. All right, let's talk about next week's race. Hopefully a lot less technical difficulties next week. So we've got the No Place Like Home 150 at Kansas Speedway. Going to be a blast. We're going to go from 9 drivers down to 7 as we continue our march to figure out who the top 5 are. Once we get to the top 5, those 5 race in one race to decide everything. So what a great drive there. Brian O'Shell just joined us in the chat, said, what a race. Yes, buddy, what a race. Second place for him. That is absolutely awesome. So once again, we will skip the interviews tonight just because of the technical difficulties we're having, and I believe it's a Discord issue as well. So we're going to do that. So for myself, Sean Griffith, and Brandon Superman Brand Browning, who also had some Discord issues, so he had to bolt there. My name is Sean Griffith, and we are Speed Racing Network. We will see everyone next week at the No Place Like Home 150 at Kansas Speedway. Good night, everybody.